all of us know there's something wrong. Sorry. I'm not used to this shit. Yeah, we've been having protests and petitions and trying to ask for what's going on. We just want some answers. And I have Ron Stevens was supposed to be coming down today. Unfortunately, he runs a radio show every Sunday, 12 to 2, and he wasn't able to get a co-host to cover him today. Oh, sorry. Ron Stevens, though, he's run for mayor twice up in Kincardine to try to stop this. He's run for the province independently twice to try to stop this. He's been researching the United Nations since he was 15 years old, but I won't say how old he is now. And he's tracked it back to the League of Nations, to the Club of Rome, to Agenda 21, to the One World Government, to the New World Order, and he's also tracked it down that it is in our city here now. It is not across the world. It is not being implemented by our province and by the federal government. It is implemented here in Guelph using an organization called ICLEI, I-C-L-E-I, which stands for the International Council on Local Environmental Initiatives. They are a non-government organization and a subsidiary of the United Nations. Right here. Cam Guthrie, our mayor, is in partnership with them. Scott Stewart, our CAO, answers to the Federation of the Canadian Municipalities. The Federation of the Canadian Municipalities is also another non-government organization of the United Nations. So we've got these people right in our local levels. This was implemented back in 1992 with the Rio Environmental Conference through Maurice Strong. And I'm sure a lot of you know or have looked into how this all started. But how it got into here was the agenda was somehow converted to make people think that this was a green program, sustainable development. But it wasn't, and I'm sure anybody else can come up and speak about this that has really looked into this. This is about a government takeover of everything. And we're witnessing what this agenda is going to do. Now we've seen what it's doing, but we can forecast what it's going to do down the road. The problem here is that none of this is legal or lawful. And what we've been doing is we've been asking them to change how they behave. And we've been asking them for permission. But really what we should be asking them is, what is their authority? What jurisdiction do they have that they have authority over us? Now, can I put this down? This is the local Agenda 21 that came down from ICLEI, okay? This was sent to implement it. What I want to ask Cam, who is signed on to ICLEI, and Scott Stewart, who is the CAO of the Corporation of the City of Guelph, and people don't realize the Corporation of the City of Guelph is not a municipal government level. It is a service corporation that is masquerading as a level of municipal government. I believe, because the public-private partnerships are so fuzzy, I think we need to ask them where these orders are coming from. If they are coming from the United Nations, the World Health Organization, the ICLEI, the Federation of Canadian Municipalities, or any other organization that is causing harm, injury, or loss, then I don't believe we have to follow them. So what we're doing today is we're taking a package of information down to the police police to both Cam Guthrie and to Scott Stewart. And the letter to the police is as follows. Please deliver these envelopes to Cam Guthrie, the Mayor of Guelph, and Scott Stewart, the CAO of the Corporation of the City of Guelph. My research indicates that the city is in partnership with ICLEI, the International Council on Local Environmental Issues, a United Nations subsidiary. This partnership and the agenda that they promote has not been fully disclosed. This agenda is causing harm. Until it can be confirmed that these orders are lawful and not a direction from ICLEI or any other United Nations non-government organization, I believe I have the right to refuse them. I don't believe I can be ordered to cause harm, especially by fraud or coercion. The notice to admit that is going to both of them, because they have been asked before. I approached them before very casually because I wanted that to know how they had authority over 12-step recovery meetings meeting. How could they limit people going in the doors of a 12-step meeting? How could they ask people to sign in? And under what authority that they had? So I simply asked both of them, do the orders or bylaws apply to the men and women who attend 12-step recovery meetings? I got an answer from the city solicitor within 4 hours. The city solicitor said that the corporation of the City of Guelph does not intend to interfere with the free flow of individuals attending the above-mentioned meetings. That's not an answer. I asked him for proof of jurisdiction, and then they have been silent. So now this is a notice to admit, and the notice to admit simply states, due to public-private partnerships, it is unclear who you work for and to whom your orders apply. So please answer the following. 1, do you or the offices you hold claim that I am property? 2, can you, or the offices you hold, administrate property or security without right? And 3, if so, please produce the obligation on which you rely. Basically, show me how I'm obligated to the United Nations Agenda 2030. So this is going to both Cam and Scott to prove that they have the authority to implement these foreign agenda orders upon the people of Guelph without their consent or at least evidence of some sort of contractual agreement. Because bottom line, people, we are consenting to these lockdowns. These only apply, bylaws only apply to anybody who's in contractual agreement with the corporation of the City of Guelph. This is all consent. I hope you do some research. If anybody has any questions, you're more than free to approach me, Ron Stevens, who is on Revolution Radio every Sunday and has also been trying to fight the global takeover. This agenda was to go from global to local, to totally ignore our federal governments, our whole jurisdictional setup where we have no say, and it's fraud. And if it's not fraud, then they need to prove otherwise. But fraud vitiates all, and you can't be forced into doing anything that hurts people. And this is hurting people, and you can't legislate for people to hurt people, you know. Anyway, God bless everybody. I know we had a number of speakers here that were planned, and we had some representatives that have been on the ground at the Hope House, on the ground at the drop-in center, on the ground at Royal City Mission, on the ground downtown to deal with the people that are suffering through mental health through addiction, through isolation, through confusion, through fear, and some of them have dropped out for fear of bullying that I witnessed online with them last night, unfortunately, and I want to keep them in all of our prayers. The gentleman that was to speak was going to talk to us about the necessity for a medical detox here in Guelph. It's so important. And he mentioned to me that the province has received $156 million for addiction services, and I think it's very important that we get something here, you know, that for these people that are just left. You know, it's really. I shake my head every day, you know, I shake my head every day, and I thank you guys for really, because all of you have looked at the alternative information, you know, and you've been able to critically think and see what this is all about. And it's got to end, and this is my attempt to have the city prove that any of this is lawful, that any of this applies to us, that any of this is within their jurisdictional authority according to the tiers of municipality government, that any of this is truly lawful. And if they can't prove it, then I don't expect an answer either. But a no answer is an answer. I asked this about them last year. Do you have jurisdiction over men and women? And they don't. There has been a conversion of status to convert you from a man and woman to not only a legal person, but to an incorporated inhabitant that is property of the corporation of the city of Guelph. And unless you challenge that you are not their property, you're gonna have to follow their rules. So if you want more information, I would be more than welcome to help you. I have researched this for 20 years. I also ran for municipal election back in 2014 up in Kincardine to try to stop burying nuclear waste a kilometer from our Great Lakes, to try to stop the wind turbines, to try to stop the Agenda 21 takeover. But I also witnessed the corruption that's at the election level. And unfortunately, the CAO and the clerk, which are unelected, unaccountable, and don't work for us, they're in charge of the election process. So we really need to ask the city who they are and who they work for. God bless everybody. Thank you.